Hello, we are Group 6 and here is a presentation of our Assessment 1 and we have 3 members in our group.
Hi, my name is Amina and the topic of our presentation is the Ngarrindjara community in Warburton, Western Australia. We are going to talk about the community and the diseases it is majorly affected by. The Ngarrindjara community is spread across 11 communities or areas in Western Australia. Before we get into the details of Warburton, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to all the 11 Aboriginal communities in Western Australia. Eranju or Wingalina, as it is known, was named after a site of significance. It was discovered in the 1900s as the nickel exploration and chrysoprase mining got attention of many companies. Wingalina became a part of the Ngarrindjara Council in 1981. Kiwirrkurra is known to be the most remote community in Australia. It is located in the sandhill country of Gibson Desert, southwest to Lake Mackay. A family of 9 people called the Lost Nomads or PIN2P9 led a nomadic lifestyle until they were reunited with their family in October of 1984. That is how this community came to be. Mantamaru is located at the base of Jameson Range in Central Ranges region. Its original name was Pannamaru, which in Ngarrindjara language translates to black ground. Because Mantamaru is in close proximity to Warburton, it had caused many people to move back and forth between these ranges during the mission, causing many people to stay, and this is how the community came to be. Blackstone is located in the north of Blackstone Ranges between Mantamaru and Eranju. Its residents belong to 2 language groups, one being Ngarrindjara. The area around Blackstone is said to have some of the most sacred sites in Western Australia. Majority of people there were said to have travelled from the Arnabella mission in South Australia in the 1960s. And that's how they stayed and the community came to be. Padjar is located in the Clutterbuck Hills between Lake Cobb and Lake Newell, around 240 kilometers northwest of Warburton. The people here are said to have been the last number of Aboriginals who were contacted by the non-Aboriginals. Until the early 1970s, the native police officers were said to have been bringing people here from Warburton Mission, and this is how it got developed. Kampa is located nearby Warburton. Most of the people there are impermanent residents, meaning they move around and do not stay at Kampa. People from Warburton, however, come there to camp and hunt. And Kampa became a part of council in 2006 and was recognized as Pirakata Community Aboriginal Corporation. It was also, however, said to be an outreach site for young vulnerable people for substance abuse. Jakarli is located in the Rira country of northwest of Warburton, named after a native yam. In the 1970s and 80s, a growing number of traditional owners who had lived most, if not all, their lives in Goldfields region had started to return to Jakarli. Many traditional owners returned after Shell Oil installed a water bore in this community, and this is how most people have been living there. Jukarla is located in the sandhill country of the edge of Lake Hopkins, between Warakarna in Western Australia and Kintore in the Northern Territory. The residents are mostly Ngarrindjara speaking people, and many have significant ties with families living in Kiwirrkurra. By the 1986, the community was permanently occupied, and in the following year, it became incorporated. Warakarna is located at the western end of the majestic Rawlinson Ranges, at one end of the infamous Gun Barrel Highway. Most residents there are Ngarrindjara speakers. The establishment of Warakarna happened in 1976, and government funding for homelands, easy road access, overcrowding at Docker River settlement, and Warburton Mission, amongst many, were the major reasons of building a new community in the Gills weather station location. Wannan is located in the sandhill country between Warburton and Warakarna. Its community was established in 1989 and is on the track of the Seven Sisters. Despite being a small community, Wannan is growing, with 15-bed elder respite center and the largest store on the lands, soon to open, Most of its residents lived in Warburton Mission or later in the Docker River settlement. Now people aged between 16 and 93 years of age currently reside there, requiring both higher and lower levels of care. Warburton is named after the range of hills to the north of the community, which in turn was named after one of the early European explorers who traveled to this region in search of a good land. The community is also commonly referred to as the Ranges. Warburton is largest of the Nanjara communities and is considered to be the metropolises of the land or the capital of the land. Warburton was also the first community to be established on the lands as a result of activities in the United Aboriginal Missionaries. Prior to the establishment of Warburton Mission, Yarnangu people led a very nomadic lifestyle. The movement of people away from this life to a sedentary one at Warburton Mission was a gradual process. The promise of food, blankets, medicines, and other material items later, a prolonged drought drew people into the mission. In the early days of the mission, rations were given out to Yarnangu people in exchange for dingo scalps that the missionaries traded for money on their regular trips to Goldfields town of Laverton. This money was then used to buy rations that were trucked back into the mission. This trade was enough to allow the missionaries to establish a school, a dormitory system, a church, a hospital, and several cottage industries. However, their main objectives included converting Yarnangu people to Christianity and providing them with education, employment, and training programs. The ability of mission to supply Yarnangu with food, blankets, tools, and other material items did not mean that Yarnangu did not need to travel to Goldfields region for trading purposes. As a result, the mission stemmed to the outward migration that was occurring in this part of the desert both prior and in the first few decades of the 20th century. In 1953, the UAM lost control of Warburton Mission to the incorporated Warburton Aboriginal community with an elected Aboriginal Council. In 1981, the Nanjara Council was officially incorporated. Warburton, Iranju, Warakarna, Jameson, and Blackstone were the first members of the council. Warburton now has a lot of facilities that include a large community store. The store has a full range of dry goods, frozen fruits, food, and vegetables that are resupplied fortnightly by the Nanjara Agency and Transport Service in Perth. It also has a community clinic staffed by Nanjara Health Services. The clinic itself trains and employs one Aboriginal health worker and one environmental health worker. It also has a community school, provides primary and secondary schooling for community students. It has 8 teachers and 2 FTEs, Aboriginal Island Education Officers. The community also has a church. It has a non-denominational church. Warburton workshop and a garage is also available. It provides a vehicle maintenance and repair service for Warburton and other communities. Warburton also has a Warburton public swimming pool. It is actually a large pool facility for all residents, open to all. It also has a football oval. It has a arts facility, arts center, provides supervised arts and crafts training and production for 50 or more local producers. Warburton also has a roadhouse and has 2 self-contained units, 12 double-in suites, 11 single budget, 20 single-in suites, 2 toilet facilities, and 1 laundry. Even with the availability of better health facilities in comparison to other communities in Western Australia, Warburton has an increasing rate of eye diseases like trachoma and respiratory lung diseases.
So here is the secondary research. So here is our framework. Our group has chosen 2 frameworks to guide our design. First is Australian Indigenous Design Chapter. And the second one is National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island Health Plan. These two frameworks will guide our design and our idea. And here is our site analysis. The climate in the Warburton area is typical desert, with a temperature reaching up to 40 degrees in the summer and between 10 to 25 in the winter. With little rainfall, there are some issues in this area, such as lack of clean water. And also there are many wildlife animals in this area, including kangaroo, desert lizard, and Australian dingo. So our design should take into the impact on local flora and fauna, such as noise and equipment resistant to heat. Also, the transport problem is very important. Here is a bar chart of average precipitation, temperature maximas and minimas. It shows that the temperature is high in all over the year in this area and also lack of rain. It means that it may have limited water resource and transport issues because the desert and also the health problem for the residents there. The more serious unit in this area are eyes and lung disease caused by dry air and unclean water. And the remoteness of the area means that the local indigenous population does not have access to have medical resource. We can also find that there are some emergency scenarios in this area. There was a very large sandstorm in 2009 in Western Australia. So in this situation, the illness person need to be cared more. Also, it's important to build emergency system by learning from the indigenous traditional method combined with modern measures.
So here are the precedents. The first one is a service design. The Purple House truck is a self-contained dialysis unit on wheels, established in 2012 with the help of Medicines Australia. Popoyatula artist and Fresenius, it gives patients with anesthesia renal failure the chance to return home for family, cultural, or sorry business. With 2 dialysis chairs, the Purple Truck travels to remote communities, letting patients visit home confident they will survive the trip. So the next one is architecture design. Ningnampa Health Council Clinics. It is a community-run health facility providing critical health services to the Anangu people of South Australia. Established in 1980, the council hopes to improve the health of indigenous communities in remote areas through cultural adaptation. The third one is a graphic design. Detectable, preventable, preventive healthcare design. In partnership with Cedars-Sinai Research Center for Health Equity, this design matters and graphic design studio challenged art center students to create a comprehensive multimodal campaign targeted to the local Filipino-American community to encourage colorectal cancer screenings and bring awareness of the increasing rate of cancer diagnosis within the population. Art Center students engaged with researchers, doctors, healthcare providers, behavioral scientists, community organizations, and leaders of ethnic and immigrant groups to understand the history, makeup, and values of the local Filipino-American community as they created a final campaign based on empathy and cultural awareness. The last one is industrial design. OxLife Independence Portable Oxygen Concentrator. Its portable and durable design allows home use and travel, especially in remote areas, offering continuous and pulse oxygen modes for patients who need consistent oxygen support.
So let's answer the question of inhabitant analyzed. So the first question, what are the cultural values of those who inhabit the site? According to our research, their cultural value includes self-control, self-reliance, courage, kindship and friendship, empathy, independence and interdependence. Also, respect for land and country and responsibility. And the second question, I think it should be indigenous self-determination, land right, government policy, access to service. And the third question, how to care with those special needs person. We can use questionnaires or interview to assess their need, establish and provide them with medication or educational support according to their needs. And the last three questions, the answer of our topic is similar. They face to eye disease and lung disease because desert climate and without clean water. Also, sandstone road damage means sometimes they will difficult to get medical support.
So how our design embodies cultural values? First, independence and interdependence. People receive dialysis while maintaining close ties with their families and communities, and ensuring their independence. People can depend on each other to ensure that the community depends on each other. Next, kinship and community support. Strengthen kinship by providing mobile health services and ensuring that it is a community experience, allowing family members to stay in touch during treatment. And how a multicultural population influences the design. First of all, participation in healthcare is a common part of multiculturalism. Secondly, the flexibility of the truck ensures that patients are treated in their own communities, ensuring that patients remain connected to their families and communities. Third, medical teams are also trained to ensure respect for multiculturalism. So how the design mitigates the dangers? The clinics are able to provide preventive and health services and are equipped for trachoma treatment and respiratory care, as well as health infrastructure to prevent the spread of the disease, and provide health education and regular checkups to prevent danger. Next, how the design addresses the chronic issues. First, health education and screening. Malnutrition and chronic illness are often exacerbated by a lack of access to preventive healthcare and early detection. Detectable Preventable offers early screening for preventable diseases and health education to inform inhabitants about nutrition, hygiene, and disease prevention, which can help reduce the impact of illness and malnutrition. The interactive health tools can educate people about the importance of nutrition and hygiene in preventing chronic disease, empowering the community to take control of their health and addressing the root causes of poor health due to malnutrition. Finally, How the design addresses the human rights emergencies by lung disease management. For example, after natural disasters create medical barriers, Oxlife can provide patients with respiratory illnesses with portable oxygen therapy, ensuring that patients can manage their illness even if they cannot reach the hospital in time, reduce the inequity of treatment. And these are our resources.
And finally, thanks for watching.